All right, welcome everyone. Got it actually started this time.
Okay.
Rob is in the house today. We had a good time
Hey,
together
hey.
playing basketball.
Yeah.
Still having a good time.
Yep.
Rob was kind enough to join the podcast for his last week of summer break
Yep.
before he starts another year teaching.
Indeed. Yeah. 9th year.
This is number
Pretty
9.
big. Yeah, number 9. I'm gonna see my first ever kindergarten class graduate. So that'd be interesting. Yeah. You know.
Correct, K through 8. That's
Yeah.
very special.
Yeah.
Way more than 10, actually.
And it's crazy to a lot of them are so much taller and bigger than me now. And they literally used to be
What does that do to your mind?
You know? I don't know. It's kind of like
when you're a teacher, you have coworkers. They're basically little children as your coworkers. And you see them
that's a funny way to think
start
about it. Yeah.
as 5-year-olds and then eventually
yeah.
be as testosterone out and as large as you.
You know, it's wild, man. It really is wild. Because granted, you're not with them all day, every day, right? But that's a big chunk of someone's life, school.
It is.
And to see them even for just that 1 hour a week, you know what I mean? I don't even see them that regularly. It's I can only imagine homeroom teachers who, I forget what the term is, but they move up with their classes. It's sometimes you'll have the same homeroom teacher from kindergarten through 8th.
That's
I mean, that's rare, but
no, that's insane. That's beyond an uncle or an aunt. Yeah. If you get that much time.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's exciting.
Also, if you had, I didn't have a nanny growing up, but some people have nannies for 10,
True.
12 years.
Yeah.
However long people have nannies for.
Yeah.
And then there's this person who raised them, but then maybe isn't a part of their life anymore, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's always interesting too when you have a nanny who's you're 5, you might have a 14-year-old nanny or something like that, the neighbor's
Oh, if a kid is
daughter,
babysitting you?
and they
Yeah.
do that for years and years,
Yeah. Even more insane to be able to lord that over someone. Yeah, but we've been having a good time today. We played basketball.
Yep.
Saw some characters. Speaking of children, of youngins, we went at 11:50 a.m. And we're oh, no one's here. We own the court. This is great. Just a local park, playing outside, public area. And then boom, right at noon, a summer camp lets out.
Within 5 minutes of us being there.
So soon.
Yeah.
After we were starting to establish.
And it was funny that you said, because you were are they going to step onto the court? And I really thought they were going to be all right, sorry, we need to use the court for our summer program. And
they hit the whistle twice.
Yeah.
They start putting cones around us. Oh boy.
Hey, that would have been a story. They let us join in on the drills and shit.
All right, what penny color do you want? Throw you a yellow one, me a blue one.
We'll go skins.
Okay.
We're men. We'll go skins.
Right. We were playing music too, so we were, stretching our legs out a bit.
Yeah. Steely Dan, which is, I would feel kid friendly to a certain extent, right?
It truly was,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's embarrassing to be listening to light sounding 70s rock music.
Oh, yeah.
But then all of a sudden the kids show up and it's there should be a saxophone in this song.
Yeah.
Definitely disarming. Been a good time though.
Yeah, but I told you earlier, it was pretty entertaining though, because I was a little oh God, now we just have to be careful with the kids. They might be running around the court and we might not see them, bump into them.
It's freaky.
But then it was kind of entertaining because when they were on the playground, they literally were acting out some cops and robbers or something. And I swear I heard one get "What are you doing? God damn it!" I don't give a fuck. But then nobody seemed really that upset afterwards. So I think they were role playing, but it was definitely a kid saying all that. I'm just their mentors or whatever.
Well,
it's over here
when you're younger, the stereotype used to be you would play quote cowboys and Indians because those are maybe the action figures that you had, or that was some encouragement. Now everyone's just watching murder mysteries on Netflix, and so they're playing out The Staircase.
Yeah.
Or some sort
Stranger Things or something.
Screaming about the Upside Down place on the Jungle Gym.
That's what I was trying to remember. It is called The Upside Down, right?
Don't even watch the show. Thank you, meme culture. Yeah, there's no way out of certain shows now. You just have to know things about Breaking Bad, right?
Yep.
Meme-ified type shows.
That was actually, I was listening to a podcast that Bob Odenkirk was on, and I just thought it was so funny.
He kept showing SpongeBob memes. What was he doing?
Not once did they mention the actual name of the show, Better Call Saul. They were Cowbell Saul? Cowbell Sal? Just butchering. He's yep, right. And they didn't even really talk about what the show was about, but I just thought it was so funny. Here he is being probably it's the last season, fuck it, I don't care about media. Just whatever, let's just have a good time.
Yeah, I wonder. He has gotten much more serious Bob
Yeah.
Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe the heart condition thing couldn't bring that on you. His book, though, is called Comedy, Drama.
Interesting. He had a heart condition, you're saying?
Well, he had an accident, a cardiac event, I think it would be called.
Damn.
I think it was the set of...
Fancy phrasing for heart attack?
Thank you.
The set of what?
The movie he did with the John Wick director.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Damn, it was on that one?
It could have been the Better Call Saul set. Or the...
I mean, it makes sense that it was nobody. Cowbell Sal?
Cowbell Saul.
Yeah.
Callie on the ball set. Try to come up with different versions.
Did you see that movie, Nobody?
I did.
Did you like it?
You know, I hadn't seen any of the John Wick movies. Bob Odenkirk brought me into the... I don't know.
Have you seen John Wick since
flesh
then?
squelching universe of John Wick.
Have you seen John Wick since?
No, no.
Interesting.
No.
I think because I've seen the first one, and I think I liked it. I think I saw parts of the second, but it's just straight up like, action porn.
I was gonna say, I know some of the motifs from the John Wick genre. It's like, him with really good gunplay, right? Realistic martial arts, high body count. So
Puppy being murdered or something like that, that he has to get
Was
revenge for.
That is
That's
the thing,
literally
right?
like
That's
the first
premise.
one, I think. Yeah.
Just like Keanu. Did Keanu come out before
my
or
God,
after John
yeah,
Wick?
that's
The Key and
funny.
Peele
That's
comedy?
so funny. That's so funny.
We were just talking about this, trying to remember that Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key movie, very forgettable name.
Yeah.
Tough Keanu specifically. With John Wick. It must be related now because I feel like I'm freaking out because how would they have a John Wick type movie named Keanu?
Yeah. Do you know?
And then Keanu.
You just reminded me, there's this movie where Keanu Reeves is in it, but he plays like one of the side characters, but he's in it for like a good chunk. But he's just like, I think he plays himself, but he's just like, oh, you look fabulous. How are you, darling? And like,
I know
very over the
about.
top, but like such a gentleman.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't remember what that movie is
Always Be
called.
My Maybe. Is it that Netflix movie?
Oh my God, you're so right. Yes.
He wears like headphones.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Again, that's a meme. That's a meme
so
movie.
funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I like that movie.
I do too.
I really like that movie.
That's a good one. Yeah. And he plays a great part in that.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny, man. So funny.
Yeah, super smart.
Have you seen, so when you say meme, was that his, because he does like, not memes, he does TikTok videos, right? He has his own like channel.
It's not him. People use
Is it
that
fake?
still of him eating dinner with the headphones on. I feel like I see that.
Okay. Interesting.
Do you not?
I'm sure maybe I have seen it, but I don't remember.
Pay attention now. You'll see it now. I guarantee you. Well, I mean,
like I feel like a dinosaur with that sometimes. Like, do people still go on Reddit to look at memes, or are they
Some
on
people, of
TikTok
course.
and like YouTube Shorts as well?
well, I'm thinking they're undeniable now because you're going to see them in your Facebook feed, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Right. But they're typically photos, right? Just like a still, like a.
I mean,
Or is it?
yeah, I think just because of the data, it's so easy to show a photo. And really, even a GIF is a series of photos, right? Ditto with video, cued in with audio. But photo is like the least acceptable amount, specifically probably with the caption.
Mm-hmm.
And the font used to be like superimposed. Like it used to be like 1 or 2 lines on top, 1 or 2 lines on the bottom.
Yeah.
And like you'd always see with the meme, the font would be over the photo. Now you can have like a blocked letterhead. You can have different styles.
Yeah.
It's really opened up quite a ton.
I like those the best, where like you have to read, then look at the picture, and then read again, and it hits you.
It's like
Boom, boom, boom.
quick story.
Yeah,
Yeah, first, second, third act.
Yeah.
We should write a movie throughout the course of this podcast that's basically using elements of Keanu,
We'll call it Reeves.
elements of John Wick, even though I have not seen John Wick.
So that's what we're doing after this then, watching all 3 John Wick movies.
We're actually going to solicit Bob Odenkirk, try to get him in a movie that we shoot that has to do with playing basketball. We'll find a way to make it happen. We had a good time. It's interesting to see what other characters came up at the court. Like we mentioned the camp children, but there was also like a pretty serious looking 40-year-old bald guy that showed up. And he started like kind of aggressively kicking the stones off the court.
I didn't notice
clearing
that.
the way.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I don't know if it was cans or pieces of bottle, glass, something.
Also, I thought it was interesting that he was wearing a mask, even though we were like 40, I mean, maybe not 40 feet, but 30 feet away from him.
I didn't want to
25, we were far. Sorry.
I didn't want to reveal his cuckness is what you were. No, it was interesting. I think it just made him look more sinister because it was like a tactical looking mask or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a bright blue medical
Yeah, it wasn't.
color.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like a
yeah,
black
yeah.
or gray mask.
And he had a shaved head, which that always makes you seem more serious.
Shaved head.
Completely like bald shaved. Yeah.
His mask matched his shirt, which is like a whole thing because it's like, oh, this guy's prepared.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this guy has a certain set of skills.
He had sweatpants on too, which I was like, sorry, this guy I think was just insane. Like
I was gonna say, I never trust people that want to work out like that in pants.
like in what, it wasn't that hot today, but still, that's too hot to be wearing sweatpants. You should not ever be wearing sweatpants.
It's 77
from mid-June until September. That's when you can, after August is over, then you can wear sweatpants again.
Well, it's kind of like that rule with wearing white.
Oh, you don't wear it after Labor Day?
Can you wear sweatpants if you wear white sweatpants?
That should be a thing now.
Like if you're gonna wear sweatpants in the summer period,
It'd be
it's gotta
made out
white.
of like summer linen. It's like
now you just look probably like a boatsman, a boater.
yeah. But I was thinking about that, like, for me, I would say I'm somebody who loves to wear sweatpants, but mainly because it's like my work uniform. For being a PE teacher, like I have to wear either basketball shorts or, I don't have to, but it's the most comfortable to wear basketball shorts, sweatpants, right?
I have a
I was
question.
like, why not wear them all year and get them made out of like summer linen, like breathable, like cotton? What were you saying? You have a question?
Keep it seasonal. I think you just split it by color. I think we cracked the code. White, and then you could do like lime green too if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe an orange pair of sweatpants for the summer.
Maybe for Cinco de Mayo.
Have a summer pair. I was gonna say, I don't know if you're in your 9th year of teaching comfortable enough at this point to like mess around with the students, like visually, like the way if you like have a pair of buttoned rip-off pants and then underneath you just had a pair of gray sweatpants.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You had like a whole warm-up outfit on and then you just revealed like an equally casual set of gym clothes underneath.
They would love that. They would crack up with that. I'm like the last 2 years I started to get to that point where like I could joke around with some of them. Like at first I couldn't do it because then they would like lose their minds and be like, oh my God, he said a joke, but like, cause it was really rare. But like now I throw it in every now and then. I'm able to be like, all right, let's calm down, blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, that would kill.
Well, as a PE teacher, what else would work? I'm thinking like maybe 2 sweaters, 2 different sizes. You take off like an extra large hoodie and then underneath
Absolutely.
it's just like a medium hoodie.
Well, it would be even funnier too is like, but then I also have another whistle underneath.
Double whistles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have the one whistle over my first hood, take that off, the whistle goes with it, and then I have another hoodie with another whistle.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Ditto with the double hats.
Yep.
Maybe you could do it like each day of the week you have a different doubled set of clothing. Keep them paying attention. At this point, you got to bust out some tricks, right?
One thing I've been wanting to do, like, but I'm trying to think of like logistically how this would be done, but like basically having a portable rim on a set of wheels that I could like carry around with me, then like during recess sort of like throw the ball at someone and be like, all right, let's go. Like, just like play impromptu one-on-one with some of the kids. And
That's
like,
a good idea.
Or like be like, if you can score on me, I'll do 10 push-ups or something like that.
That's
and
a
if
good
not,
idea.
you have to do them, or whatever.
So often the gym equipment is too sedentary. It doesn't move, It's just locked in the ground. I'm trying to think if you could do that with like 2 poles and volleyball nets, right? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. That would be easy too, because
people would get so into it. You set it up in different spots. People might get hurt, I guess.
And people would be willing to hold it up. You know what I mean? Like you'd always get those 2 people like, yeah, I'll hold it because I want to see this shit go down.
How about?
Because it'd be super easy,
It would.
Like,
and it just seems more
that's
like
a product
playful.
idea. Super portable volleyball net. You need 2 people to hold it, but
You could sell super portable everything. I mean, some things inherently are like a set of bags.
right.
You could just drop that anywhere. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But certain markets, I don't think they've gotten there yet. I think there's still opportunity.
You just got me thinking of a bunch of like yard games. Like I love bocce ball, but I never play that game.
Is there a PE bocce ball?
That's actually one of the main games that I played during the pandemic.
Bocce?
Like with my students. Yeah, we modified bocce ball.
Outside?
No, indoors.
How is that possible?
Because it was back when it was hybrid. So I would have like 5 kids in the classroom.
No, but I'm saying what balls would you use?
Oh, just like tennis balls, or like for the older kids, I might try to use like dodgeballs actually at first, because they're still not as, because I have these like balls that are like, I call them yarn balls, because they look like they're literally just like a bunch of like kind of yarn stuck together, woven together, but like they're very frail. You can pull like fluff off of it if you try hard enough.
Those won't bounce.
So they bounce very minimally, but yeah, they're very soft. They're not gonna like bounce.
The tennis balls
ceiling.
just seem too bouncy to me.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I did that as like a challenge for like, the older kids, like, because then you really gotta like throw it softly and like take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Still innovating after all these years. Still.
I did a modification too. I did like where we would pull a card and each card had a different rule. So like, for example, you pull a queen, that means you get to stand from any spot you want and, throw your ball or whatever.
Oh, I like that. Did they get to make up the rules?
Yeah, I had them make them up and they
Very
all made
nice.
different ones. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's special. Come up with your own game. We were playing basketball earlier. We did try different point combinations based on where you stood on the court.
Yeah. And technically we invented our new game. I mean, not really, but instead of horsey. Yeah. If you hadn't agreed to that, you would have won. That's how I won.
That's true. Yeah, Rob took me to the game of horsey. He got the horse and then started playing really well and just made me stack up those letters.
I was really hoping you would have made that shot. So James has this shot. He starts in one corner of the 3-point line, right? Throws the ball up, and it can only bounce 2 times. And while it's bouncing, you have to run from one side to the other corner and then catch it and shoot.
All the meanwhile staying outside the 3-point line.
Right, you cannot.
So you have to
break
run
the
in like
perimeter,
an arc,
Yeah.
semicircle.
I think the first time I tried to do that, I might have fell. Like I think I slipped and like ate shit.
Hope it didn't cause like memory loss. You're like, seeing birds in the memory.
It's like, yeah, I made the shot. You're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, oh fuck.
You did win today's game on like the best shot to win on Game of Horse, left-handed 3-pointer.
Oh, it was. I forgot about that.
First level thinking, a 3-pointer is the way you end a Game of Horse. But second level thinking, a left-handed 3-pointer is how you do it.
Level up from that is left-handed off the backboard, but it's not happening with those backboards.
I was going to say behind the head.
Forget that's what we also talked about. Posing as CPD, Chicago Park District employees, and doing a little gardening at the court that we play at.
This is a fundamental human question as to when a branch should be trimmed from a public basketball court. If a couple of young men are trying to enjoy their game, if like you can't shoot now from 1/4 of the corners in the court, what happens when 25% of your corner shot options are taken away?
Here's kind of the irony, though. I feel like if we cut that, because we hate that, you're right. We hate to shoot from there, but we love to stand underneath there when it's really hot because it casts a pretty big shadow. Like 2 weeks ago when we played, I noticed that the ball went out of bounds at one point, and we're all just standing there except one person getting the ball. And I noticed 8 out of 10 of us were standing in the shade on the same side, like all within like this closer to each other.
I'm going to be honest with you. I had no reservations about personally cutting this branch until this very moment. You're pointing out the best part of it.
Yeah. It
actually works as a sun umbrella.
Yeah. But I wonder, because I guess it depends on when. I mean, we play at the same time, so the sun is typically the same.
10 to noon.
But like, we might still have some coverage from the other higher branches, but I think it would take a lot of shade out. Yeah.
Let's cut it. Start coming at 8:30 in the morning. That's what.
Yeah.
That's my solution. It was fun though. Yeah, that one guy kicking the stones around was interesting. Even we were leaving.
Right. Forgot about. We didn't mention. Remember?
No interaction. He was on his side. We're on our side.
No, he.
Then at the very end.
Right when we're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, he's like asking us if we're taking off. It's like, oh yeah, we are. Yeah. Then I asked him, oh, did you want to play? And he just wanted to play full court. He said no.
Yeah, the way it went down was the guy's like, hey, are you guys leaving or are you taking a break? And then James was like, no, we're leaving. And he's like, okay. And then I thought too, like, oh, he wants to play. And then James, you were like, why are you looking to play? And he goes, oh, no, I'm just looking to do some full court. It's like, what? Like, that's fine, but it's just kind of funny. Like, just start doing full court and then... that's what I would do. Like, if I wanted to do full court and I saw these 2 guys sitting down now, I would just do it. Then if they came back on, I would move back over.
Right.
Whatever.
He wasn't that casual about it. We forgot to mention he also did go shirtless at the end.
That's what was funny. Yeah. Sweatpants and no shirt. Like, that's a crazy look, man.
It is. But, it's a man of the extremes, which is, I think, what gave him that aura.
He took his mask off, though, because that would have looked crazy. Him shirtless, sweatpants, and a mask on.
That's fucking funny, man.
He had gloves, too.
Have you seen anyone working out shirtless, masked?
No.
That's a sight.
No.
That's a sight.
It is kind of funny, though, when, like... Wait, you've seen that?
It's just, look, the more skin you could show on a person while they're playing any sport, especially basketball, with a full mask on their face is funny.
It is.
Like
it's
what?
It's because of Dark Knight Rises, though, right? Because of Bane.
It's a Bane
It has
thing?
to be sort of because of that. Bane made the mask like over the top.
He didn't take anything away from it, I'll tell you that. I was thinking of different like cinematography based angles while playing basketball today. And now the thought of a frame with like a scantily clad dude, like short shorts, the whole nine, and then like a big exaggerated mask is extremely funny to me.
Yeah. I was gonna say at the gym, seeing those guys who have the tank tops where it's like it doesn't even cover it barely like covers their nipples, you know, because it's so like in, and there's like nothing on the side, but then they have that giant like mask with the chambers or whatever, you know, it's like specifically like a workout mask or something. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. It must be the purge valve masks.
I think it is that one. But it's not like this is like pre-COVID. Like some guys would wear that just because it's supposed to be like, I think maybe harder for you to breathe or it helps you regulate your breathing. I don't know, but it was like specifically a workout mask.
I got to take some footage with all the different scenarios we're pointing out right now.
Next time we should
Masked.
play exactly like that. Shirtless, sweatpants, that mask.
Have you owned one of those masks that has a string or like a piece of fabric on the top and the bottom, and you make like full knots in the back of your head?
No way, I couldn't take that.
It's insanity. But I was gonna say that's how you could exaggerate. You could have one of those guys with the cutoff shirts.
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
then you have like pieces of fabric hanging down from your head.
Yeah.
Almost like a headdress.
You could make them even longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Really exaggerate. Or hair, just like fabric hair, which would work great.
I could put braids in my hair, that would look good. I mean beads. Remember I meant to say beads, not braids.
How about beads on the mask?
There you go.
Or
That's
bells. Some guy that's
Bells.
like using it as like a peacock feather type thing, you know?
That would be a good training exercise. You have bells on your mask. You try not to get them to shake. Swiftness is what, I mean, no one would be able to do that. They'd be ringing every 2 seconds.
Come to think of it, I have seen SNL skits that were largely just based on like one clothing item. Right? Like I don't know if maybe it was an SNL skit, but it might have been Andy Samberg where it was a deep V shirt and they kept showing deeper and deeper Vs.
Oh, yeah.
And like every time they'd cut to the next
That's
person
funny.
or the next outfit, it was just like a more and more skin-based V. You do that just with the mask. You cut to one person, like we interviewed a group of pathogen-conscious basketball players, you know, whatever. And just, of course, they're wearing more and more intense masks.
Yeah, and then it starts getting higher and higher, and it starts covering.
Well, there's like there's the different masks in basketball history too. There's like the nose break mask, like the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh my god,
type
yeah, that thing
plastic
is
mask.
frightening. My god.
If you combine one of those masks with that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's so funny.
It's a lot of room to run. I mean, we probably just passed the period in history where those jokes would be really relevant and shareable, and now probably no one wants to be reminded of masks. At this point.
Right. Oh
So
my god.
maybe I should just move on.
It's a sore subject.
Save it for the next pandemic. You know.
Well, you know, hey, I was gonna say we're gonna have to start wearing them again.
Says
you know?
who? You're going back to school. Maybe you.
I mean, I told Erica, I'm like,
I've still been wearing. I'm not
I
trying to.
can't do that. No, I mean, I think
You
I'm
Mr.
gonna start
Badass.
wearing them again at the store and whatnot. Just because, especially, I'm going back to school. You know, I'm around more people. But like, I don't think I could wear it to work anymore. Especially being in the gym, it's just hard to project my voice with that thing on. And it just like starts to hurt my ears, like having to wear them with my glasses.
No, and if you do that joke where you wear all your gym equipment twice, you'd have to wear 2 masks. Like, all right, welcome back from school, everyone. Take the first mask off. You got the second one on. That should be your first
I'm
version
just
of
gonna
it.
wear a helmet.
No end to it. Absolutely no end. In basketball, though, we took a ton of shots today. It was basically just Rob and I shooting back and forth, back and forth. If you go just to shoot basketball, like literally take shots practicing, like we shot 120, 150 times more than when we're just playing a game.
Yeah.
Like on Saturdays when we get together. Same for passing. You end up passing so many more times.
Oh my god,
When
yeah.
you just focus on that. You can get like a year's worth of shooting in
Yep.
in one day of practice.
I think that's why my shoulders were sore. All the passing. That probably had to be it.
And even then, we were talking about the difference between practice passing and game passing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have to put the same sort of heat or English on those balls.
Yeah. But I was gonna say too, I'm sure you felt it today too, but there were like a big chunk of those shots too where I was like, man, that felt like as soon as I let go, that's money. That's going in.
We got in
Like
some
perfect,
grooves.
you know? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they sure feel streaky. I know the stats say the hot hitter or hot shot phenomenon. What do you call it? The hot streak?
Shot?
The hot hand. I'm trying to call it the hot hand phenomenon is actually statistically illusory. It doesn't exist. The fact that just because you made the last 2 shots, you're not more likely to make your shot after that. But good Lord,
right?
It feels like it.
That's what you're saying. But I don't know. I think too, it's all about like, mechanics, like being in tune with like your form, your body, and just like repetition. Doing the same thing over and over, like. Yeah, but obviously that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? But like,
well, you have to remember where you're at. Like, if we kept taking shots back and forth, me, it's like you forget. You're focused on passing, and then all of a sudden you're shooting again. Focus on passing, you're shooting. But that's how it is in real life. You have to practice stuff like that. Otherwise, there's those guys that are like really good in like a 3-point shooting competition, and then in a game they can't shoot threes.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help you to become so good in one skill that it'll never come up.
Absolutely, yeah. It's different. But I was thinking about Steph Curry, like how I feel like, there are a lot of basketball players who don't shoot with like proper form, like fundamental technique. But like some people they're so good at shooting because they do it this same way over and over and over and over. I remember when I was coaching basketball, I'd be like, I'm going to show you how you're supposed to, and I would do that, supposed to shoot a shot.
He's doing air quotes.
Yes. But telling them like, here's how I'm supposed to shoot, elbow tucked in, blah, blah, blah. But here's how I actually shoot. Elbow out. My left hand is actually kind of in front of the ball, which you're not supposed to do. And, just all this stuff. But I'm like, but that feels good to me. And every time, or, 95% of the time when I shoot it exactly like that, I know it's going in, because it's just that repetition, that like feeling,
You have to find a compromise. This is the textbook form, but then there's how your body was growing up.
Yeah.
You took most of your shots throughout time.
Like if you can do the semi-pro, I can't believe I'm blanking.
Oh, the granny shot. The granny
shot, yeah.
We've always talked about at our basketball group somehow keeping stats with like AI or some sort of robot. They sell something like that for soccer now.
Really?
Where it's basically like, a computer vision robot that is on like a 6-foot pole. We'll look at the game.
Interesting.
And then you can like get stats for the players. It's, again, soccer. It's for soccer. So we have to develop it for
when I
people.
get a student teacher at my school, I'll make them come out and do that for the weekends.
Well, I mean, that's exactly how it should be, of course.
What's funny is that I bet somebody could get an intern, like legitimately get an intern to do that, and it would be related sort of like to their job. You know what I mean?
It's funny you're saying that at our age now, because like we're in our early 30s and we're at the level where stuff like that seems possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like stature in society, which is horrible. You see how like corrupted people can become.
Yeah.
But one thing I was thinking about, kind of related earlier, I can't believe that we play on Saturdays and there's like 3 Wilson Evolution basketballs.
Yeah.
Outdoors, like $50 balls.
That's
expensive balls that like you're really not supposed to use outdoors.
Some people would be so upset with us if they saw us playing with those.
If you don't use like a rubberized outdoor ball outside, eventually you lose the thing. Like it gets too fuzzy, the leather goes, it starts to peel up.
You can't grip it at all, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not nearly the same. But there's like 3 of us now. We have like $150 worth of balls. Like, God damn, we're getting old. Like,
I was thinking about...
Bunch of rich old men.
For the longest time, for some reason, anytime I played basketball outdoors, it was always either like a beat up ass like old ball that literally felt like this table. Just like slick. You couldn't even grip it with one hand, no matter how big your hands were. Or it was like a really rubberized like street ball, you know what I mean? That's like so bouncy and like just bounces weird and like
something
hits the rim weird,
made out of like the goo that they fill cracks in like the street with.
Yes.
Like,
oh my God, yeah.
It's got pine tar all over
pothole basketball, yeah.
No, but then there's like the slick vinyl ones, the ones that have that shellacking, that smooth material.
Yeah, I bought one recently. I was like, I'm not too happy with it, but it's gonna get the job done for being outdoors, and it won't get fucked up like a Wilson. But those Wilson basketballs, they feel just so good.
I've never played with them outdoors as much as we have. I'm almost realizing there's a really small like magic window when it plays really well. It's not right at the beginning.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not when it gets too rough. Mine even now is getting a little too rough. It's getting old. But when it's a little
still good, yeah.
When it's newer, man, it's great.
Yeah.
It hasn't quite been damaged enough. I guess it's like people.
Yeah.
It's before life has damaged you, really bad.
yeah.
You're broken in a little. Arguably, the exact age we're at right now is
That's exactly when you have to
just
start paying bills. That's what it happens.
enough. Right. You just start paying bills. You get that responsibility, the boost in your mindfulness, but you're not in horrible debt yet, right? Like
You fall for one or two of those car payment scams. Your warranty is about to expire.
you're still young enough to take on a manual labor job.
Yeah.
To get you out of the bed of thorns that you've made for yourself.
I remember the first time I got one of those calls, I was like, "Oh shit, really?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, god damn it!" It's this, the scam calls, like,
Okay. I was like, manual labor calls.
The mortgage on your house is about to, blah blah blah, and it's like they're not even using real things. Like, your mortgage is about to expire. It's like, expire? What are you talking about?
The extended warranty for your airline ticket.
Yeah. I have seen, like, it's just so funny. There's these videos where it's like, oh, I expose scammer, and
Rob, you just watch all these videos.
No, that's what I meant to say.
Videos. This is like the subgenre of YouTube that Rob is most in love with. Is like
I would
scam
say
auditing.
That's a micro watch. Is like when I just kind of like, now you can scroll over YouTube videos and they'll start to play, and they might have the subtitles on. So like I'll kind of like do that and just see a little bit of what's going on. But like I saw this one short where it was like, the guy's like, okay, so you want me to redeem the voucher? He's like, no, so please don't do that. Like, okay, so I'm gonna hit redeem. No, don't. Okay, I just hit redeem. No. And it's like the scammer apparently being like, fuck, because they just gave this person like $5,000. But I'm like, why would they ever give them the option to do that? But I think it's because they're trying to trick people to be like, hey, look, there's this $5,000 voucher. You send me this money first, and then you get that or something. But it just seemed weird, like it had to be a fake video. Like
they're just the scammer was pretending to be upset, but really like they had taken out a loan for $30,000 in their name.
Yeah,
or something.
maybe
Give a little to get a lot type thing.
Yeah, or they that's probably why they're still upset. Like, fuck, I just lost $5,000. Like, should have been an easy net profit.
We always talk about doing bits on the show about different sketches. That's something that's come up a lot. And you were mentioning one
my God, yeah.
for your favorite YouTube genre.
Yeah.
So explain what your favorite YouTube genre is, and then give me some obvious jokes you feel like right off the top you'd have to make on this genre. Okay,
so my new favorite thing to watch on YouTube now is First Amendment audit videos. Sometimes Second Amendment, a lot of times Fourth Amendment. The way it started is that I just started hearing about people doing audits on like public buildings, government funded buildings where, by law you're allowed to access, and the law is anywhere in public you can take pictures or video. So like I literally could stand on that sidewalk out there outside your house and film from the sidewalk into your windows, right? And I know that's like, I would never do that. And, I would hate if somebody did that to me. But by law, you cannot really stop them from doing that except close your blinds. Right?
Correct.
But so most people do it in public places like City Hall or whatever. But like at first I looked up, I was like, oh, interesting. And, I'm all for that. I'm all for people exercising their rights and making sure that people aren't getting kicked out of places where they're allowed to be for something as silly as a camera. Because like, I don't know, maybe I would have acted this way if I didn't know about these videos, but people freak out when like you're somewhere with a camera. Like, excuse me, like I don't give you permission to film me. And it's like, okay, I get that, but like this person is filming and like you just made yourself more on camera by talking to them. So why don't you just walk away?
It's one of those things that's going to get worse and worse.
But it's just strange.
What would your jokes be for the genre?
So here's what I'm saying. The first thing I ever looked up on that, I typed in First Amendment audit fail. Meaning I wanted to see these people going in to do an audit and then like getting arrested or, like taken to the ground, or whatever, because they actually like were doing it wrong. Like they were somewhere where they weren't supposed to be filming. But then it just turned into me watching that stuff. So that would be like maybe the first joke. Someone goes in the film, and maybe nowadays it would be much more dramatic. It'd be like them getting shot in the leg right away or something, or being like,
well, I'm trying to think why they would be in trouble if it's like their camera had like a knife on it, like a bayonet.
That would be funny too.
Like it was like a big video camera and then had the knife duct taped to the top of it. Like, what? This is my right. I can film. It's like, it's the knife. It's the giant knife.
My other joke would be like, there's some people who are like, I'm allowed to open carry in this state. That's the law, right? I'm allowed to conceal carry. I'm allowed to carry an AR-15 if I want.
Okay,
openly,
so how about
right? So it's like
water
something
gun?
like that, someone with like that or like a fucking bazooka or something. But obviously thinking realistically, we wouldn't be able to even get a replica bazooka.
No, but that would
It's
be
like,
funny though.
like,
It was just like a joke video.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely,
what? I have
absolutely.
an open carry card, and someone just has a bazooka.
Yeah.
What's a casual way you could carry the bazooka? Do you know what I mean? Like, or maybe like a slick way.
A slick way, interesting. I was trying to think about that.
Like,
I guess it would just be with a strap over your shoulder, or that to me, that's the funniest. Like, because
that is the bazooka way though. That's how they're normally carried, isn't it?
Don't they? I thought they would normally hold it like this over their shoulder.
I'm trying to think. Is there a strap on a bazooka? That's a great question. Okay, well, the strap, that's definitely number one.
That makes me think of an entirely different like sketch idea. It's
because you could have the bazooka be like a backpack too. If
true.
you had it like sticking up
this way though, this way. So
left
it has
and
like
right.
it has straps like on this side, but
you
it's
try to
like,
walk through doors and it hits both sides of the door. That'd fly. That'd work.
You go to pick something up, the missile falls out or something like.
Like the heavy metal shell. Yeah, or like using it as a cane or something.
I was trying to think that too, but like, yeah, that would be
That's way, way over the top.
Like maybe using it as a walking stick for like the beach or something, or hiking.
Imagine if you're like elderly and you had a walker that was like 4 bazookas. Oh my god! It had like a wooden handle top and those tennis balls on the bottom. Yeah. But it's that's like, amazing. I'm sorry, sir, is that walker 4 bazookas with live ammunition inside?
It would be funny, like someone carrying like a crazy like blade, just some sort of like fucking sword or something, or like a meat cleaver. Because like there are some laws where like you can have a blade that's like 4 inches, but then it's like someone who has a 4-inch blade that has a bunch of spikes on either side or something. Like
this is great.
Something nuts like that, or it's like literally like a cactus style like.
Is that swivel blade? The one that's just like
a
wiggle to it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those are hilarious. Like you can't cut straight into something.
Yeah, that's meant for stabbing.
Tear up flesh left and right. It's got to be all sorts of funny ones, like crescent moon,
like Wolverine claws or something. Attach on. Like I remember.
Obvious Wolverine claws with the bazookas, obviously.
Yes,
Especially
if
you can get like a practical special effect where it actually can shoot something.
I was thinking about the first time I saw a brass knuckle in real life. It was the one where like it has the spot obviously where you put your fingers through. Then it also had like this rectangular shape and then another like bar where you could like just have more leverage to like hold on to. It's like I think your fingers would wrap around and grab underneath this like bar. But I was like, that's super intense. My God.
Oh, I get it. So there's like more meat in the brass knucks in the fist area. So you had like,
I don't know if it was necessarily like more there, but I just meant it's like, because some of them are literally you just put onto your knuckles, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Then however hard you make your fist, right? But I'm saying that bar would allow you to like squeeze tighter, I feel like, because you had something to pull up against. It's like meant for some serious,
I feel like, would put your fingers more in the middle of the punching action, right?
True. Yeah.
Which would isolate them probably from some damage. Well, we'll do a First Amendment audit with a weird sized blade, some bazooka jokes.
Little brass knucks. Maybe have a necklace with a bunch of brass knuckles on them.
I know. You're just profiling me, and it's just like there's 5 sets of brass knucks on someone's necklace. Like, honestly, surprised you haven't seen that. Come to think of it, that looks pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because like women will wear some pretty, bedazzled necklaces, some pretty busy stuff with beads and trinkets, ornaments. But if you're like a guy version of that,
it's
like grenade shells and brass knucks and whatnot, just like.
Because like what the common joke is like the giant Jesus piece, right? Like gold Jesus piece, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's like fine jewelry. This other stuff, it's more like a charm bracelet with brass knucks to
now here's the thing:
a man necklace.
Should they all be hanging like free for all on the chain, or should they be like welded together so it's just like a giant like one brass knuck in the middle, then boom, boom, boom?
The way I'm initially imagining is different kinds of brass knucks kind of clanging together.
I like how we're calling them brass knucks too. I like that.
It's a podcast. You got to get to brass tacks. Get to the most obvious word possible.
We just gave somebody a brand name for their new brass knuckle that they're trying to make.
Brass knucks?
Brass knucks.
Well, B-Knucks?
And for the kids, brass knuckies. Brass knuck junior.
It does sound a little sweet. It sounds cute. There's ways to make it more sinister, though. You mentioned like the different amounts of metal. You could put spikes on those bad boys, obviously.
True. Yeah.
I feel like matte black. It's kind of sinister because it's like,
absolutely.
You can't even see that in the dark. The thing about brass knuckles, the one that actually have that glimmer to them, they're kind of like jewelry. That's what's kind of funny about it. They have that golden look to them. It's not that easy to conceal.
That would be funny. All
but a
diamond brass knuckle. Well, it'd be a diamond knuckle at that point. But like,
a really busy one where like LED lights would be bouncing off that thing constantly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that like you in the military trying to sneak up on someone.
Have like mini spinners in them, like mini rims.
Or like it's an MP3 player. Brass knucks that like somehow, it's kind of close to your face while you're jamming.
Oh my God.
Possible. We develop
Sorry, that's funny.
Well, those are good First Amendment audits. I feel like those are ways you could definitely do it.
Yeah, well, it's funny.
What type of people?
I have been like, saying I kind of want to do that, like a First Amendment audit, but it's like, because, the thing is some people, like, obviously they get arrested, but there are people who are really smart with it. And if a cop shows up and is like, you got to go, blah, blah, blah. And you ask them, if I don't leave, are you going to arrest me? And then if they say, yeah, they're like, all right, under threat of arrest, I'm going to leave, But like my big thing is like, I got into those videos mainly for simple things like, if we're driving together in a car and I'm driving and I get pulled over, if they ask you for ID, that is not a lawful order. That's a request. Traffic stops have nothing to do with the passenger. They can ask all of us to get out the car, and legally we have to do that. But if you're a passenger in the car in a traffic stop, you do not have to ID unless you've committed a crime, committed, about to commit, or have committed a crime. Or, those 3 tenths.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about this?
To commit a crime, yeah.
Is there an audit video where someone's like, fine, I'll give you my ID, who's in the passenger seat, and they hand like a fake ID? It's like the Monopoly Man or something on their ID.
Oh my God. So there is a funny video.
Because if you're not required, could you then pull a prank on the officer?
You could, yeah.
Like give them like Monopoly money or something?
Because like you could also say like, if they're like, do you have any ID on you? You could be like, oh yeah, sure. And it could be an ID that you made, but because they have to specifically be like, yeah.
Dude, that's funny.
There's a guy.
It is real, but it's like a really, really intensely badly made home ID watercolor. And like,
there's a guy who does that. He goes around, right? And he does these audits, right? And then they're like, you have any ID on you? Oh, certainly. And he's like, here you go. And he's like, I'm Billy Buttcrack, BCNN. Buttcrack News Network, whatever. He's like, no, I need real ID. What do you mean? This is my real ID. He's like a driver's license, state issued driver's license. Oh, why would I need that? But he's just like fucking with them. Or sometimes like they'll be like, I need to see some ID. All right. And then he goes like this, I'm gonna have to see some ID from you, sir, and shows him a Uno reverse card.
Have you seen someone actually pull off the fake ID?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the Uno reverse, too.
Yeah.
These guys
this
do
is
that?
someone on YouTube. One person specifically who does that. He'll pull out a Uno reverse card.
People who actually got arrested on those. Who said, fine, I'm going to leave, under the threat of arrest.
Yeah.
That's like the money shot for these type of videos. Like you have to have the cop show up in
absolutely
a freedom audit video if you want it to blow up.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that for our parody video too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we can rip off the Uno reverse card from the guy and some other cops can eventually show up. It could also just be like the knife that's shaped like a snake or whatever, like the winding serpentine like blade.
It's like this couldn't possibly hurt somebody, but it's still dangerous or something. It couldn't possibly stab somebody.
Yeah, it's just like floppy. It's like plastic.
Yeah.
Homemade ID. I might have to try that out.
Yeah, and another thing is like they'll be like, oh, if you say, oh, I work for I'm an independent journalist. Oh, okay, really? So where are your CREST credentials? Your press credentials. I said CREST credentials. Where are your press
and
credentials?
Then you hand someone your CREST credentials.
But like all these auditors are always like, nobody issues press credentials. Like. People have them, but there's no legal, like, that doesn't mean anything.
It's old school, right?
Yeah, people have those, but it doesn't legally mean anything. Like, and they're like, I could print one of those out and make it. I'm like, so do it. Like, why don't you just do that? So that way you could be like, here, smartass, here are my press credentials. Boom. You can make up a company name because you're independent. You can make up your own company name, and there you go.
Neverending Becoming.
Yeah.
First Amendment.
First Amendment Knucks. We walk around doing our audits in brass knuckles.
Or no, it just adds a layer. Like you could have the video where someone has the necklace with the brass knuckles. It's like, I'm sorry, like you can't be wearing that. It's like, what? I have my concealed carry, and then you hand over like press credentials.
Yeah.
For a like brass knuck journalist.
This is my license to knuckle.
License to knuck.
I was thinking about when we went on our trip to Eagle River, how many times personally I made cuck jokes, or like I just thought that was so funny. I really beat it into the ground. Like, but I was just like, that was just on the whole car ride up. We kept like, for like half of the car ride, we kept like making cuck jokes. Or
I made one in this podcast, so
I know.
That's who you're talking to here. I mean, I'm on the record. I'm slated on the record.
God, yeah.
I have my press cuck credentials actually already. I can flash the papers, but I don't want to upset anyone. The thing about cuck, and this is like used most often in political divisiveness now, it's not fair, really, because it's the word fuck, but with a C.
Right.
It's the funniest letter of one of the funniest sounding words at the beginning of it. Uck.
Yeah.
Uck alone is a funny word.
Yeah.
That's why they call it yuck yuck, or, yucking it up. Yeah. It's just related to laughter.
Yeah.
But you put cuck on there, it's like just doubling up the hilarity.
That reminds me, in SNL, I mean, not SNL, The Office, there's one scene where Dwight's character goes, "R is the most menacing sound in the human language, in the English language. That's why it's called murder, not muckduck."
That's
right.
That's right.
That's what he picked, yeah.
And that's the most popular streaming show of all time, which the American Gospel.
Is it actually the most popular streaming show?
There's various statistics. I've definitely seen a chart recently. The most famously rewatched show in every state in The Office was most states.
Damn.
There was some Friends, I think even some Parks and Rec.
I can't rewatch that to save my life nowadays. It's like a Peacock, huh?
The Office?
Yeah.
Oh, you just can't find it.
It's not on.
But you would watch it, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Exactly.
No, for sure. I'm saying like I can't find it. I mean, it's on Peacock now, I think.
You'd be yucking it up before you knew it. No, verified. Think about
that sounds like the title of like a hip hop comedy album or something. Like watching The Office. I lost it already, but it was something to do with Office, cuck, and knuck. Watching The Office with my knucks.
I've been thinking about cuck.
My fellow cucks.
Do you hear Republican stuff where they call liberals cucks? Like they
actually say that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude! No, I thought that was just a joke.
No, it is a joke. That's the reason they use it.
I know, but that's like so unprofessional. I feel like. I mean, whatever. But like
a bunch of liberal cucks wearing masks, that sort of shit. Like, yeah, look at you're dying, Robin. He's just hearing what's been used ad nauseum and conservative radio.
But also too, like, because to me, I'm sure to a lot of other people, that kind of makes you look stupid. But it's kind of genius because all their followers are going to be like, "Hey, that's right, damn right."
It's like trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It's trying to be funny. Even the Let's Go Brandon, like it's kind of like I don't want to say cult behavior, but like having like in-group speak, like language that you share amongst your people.
Yeah.
It's a big thing for like fostering unity. Do the Democrats have that? Do you feel like there's any liberal?
I don't know. I feel like I don't pay attention to that stuff enough to know that. But there has to be.
I guess like Nazi, calling people Nazis.
Oh, for sure.
There's stuff like that. That's probably more
First Amendment audit videos, they say that a lot. But is this Nazi Germany? I'm sorry? Is that what you're asking for my papers? Like, I haven't done anything wrong. Is you a Nazi? They say that a lot, yeah. So
that's fine. So that's a direct example.
What's funny is I feel like some of these people are hardcore Republicans, like the videos that I watch.
Yeah.
Because like one of them, like basically, he's like, oh, the scamdemic. Or like the pandemic's not real, whatever, So I'm like, interesting that they're into this first. Because what I'm saying is that a lot of people fucking hate when people do this. They're like, get a real job. Stop being a troublemaker. And to a certain extent, I get it. But I do appreciate what these people are trying to do because it's like, it's fine for me to be here. Like, you're the ones making a big deal. I just want to sit here and record. Or I prefer when people actually want to go in and do business. Like, I'm here to pull a record. I'm here to speak to this person. I'm here to buy this. And I just want to film my interactions with people, but some people will just be there like hanging out, like recording and like, it still should be no problem.
Probably depends how long. I feel like someone's been trolling for like 8 hours.
But I feel like it's mostly like conservative people who are like get that camera out of my face. Or like, what are you doing? You're a troublemaker. Get out of here.
Are you saying the conservatives are performing the audits or
Both.
getting upset?
I'm saying both. Like,
it's a high percentage.
Some of the people that I see are like conservatives, or they like,
Dude,
two people specifically are like, oh, I'm not going to wear a mask. That's not a law. The pandemic's fake,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
It kind of seems like a freedom fighter conservative thing. It does.
Yeah.
Which another joke for the possible First Amendment audit videos is using some sort of Republican slant. If these First Amendment audit videos are secretly funded by like conservative think tanks as a way to turn people conservative, show these sort of like fuck the police type videos on YouTube to people so that
fuck
they
the liberal cucks,
eventually become libertarian type conservatives. Perfect.
Hit it right on the money. Oh, yeah.
All right, Rob, thank you for joining.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. Always have a blast.
Next time we'll be tapping our brass knucks on the table.
Yeah.
Half the time, showing people
At least one of us will have the chain on.
Yeah. We'll make it happen.
Or a mesh shirt made out of just brass knuckles.
Hey, you brought a prop hat last time. So
I did, yeah.
Prop necklace is well within the range of possibilities.
Yep.
All right. Bye, everyone.